The following is an exclusive presentation of WI Garden Media, the voice of Garden Talk Radio. Coming up on the program today, we're going to discuss fall bulbs and buying mums to keep them all year round, as well as picking out the best apple and pumpkin farms to go to. Our special segment, Chatter Spot, where Holly and I will talk about topics, non-political, non-religious, and answer your garden questions.
You're listening to the most informationally packed hour of garden-focused radio in the country and on the internet with your host, husband and wife team Joey and Holly Baird. This is the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
And welcome to another edition of the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. Happy to have you along. I'm your host, Joey Baird. Beside me is my wife, co-host, best friend, and gardening partner,
Holly Baird.
This program is for you, about you, to help your garden grow better, to maintain your landscape, grow healthier trees, make your grass look greener, as well as preserving what you grow. Happy you're tuning in, whether you're doing such on one of the 20 AM and FM frequencies, broadcasting our program here in 2025, through our radio app, through our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, underneath the Season 9 tab at the top of the page, podcast replay, in-studio video replay. Thank you so much for allowing us to be part of your day. You want to be communicate with us, you want to be part of the program, gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com, or toll free coast to coast, 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469. We'd just like to hear who you are and where you're listening from. Before we get in the program, Holly, it's time for this week's Joke of the Week.
Okay, so why is kale never lonely?
Why is kale never lonely? Because it's always curled. It's always...
Okay, because it comes in bunches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This week's garden joke is brought to you by...
Not as deep as you thought it was.
This week's garden joke is brought to you by Rescue.com. American-made rescue products keep your family, home, and yard protected from pests such as wasps, hornets, yellow jackets, flies, ants, and more. Learn more at Rescue.com. That's RESCUE.com.
Before we get in the program, I want to add some additional information the last couple of weeks. I think it was last week we talked about uses, unusual uses for apples. We forgot to mention caramel apples, or isn't that what you call it? You take the apple, you jam a stick in it.
Caramel apple, candy apple.
Yeah.
I think one is different, but they're kind of the same concept.
You get your apples and you can make your own caramel mix.
Right.
People would sometimes do it like with vanilla or chocolate. The chocolate, they'll melt it and dip it in that. Also, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about make it at home. It tastes better. You can make we forgot to mention, you can make your own brown sugar with white sugar, a mixer, and some molasses.
Yeah, we were just talking about that the other day.
All right. Now that we've got the old business taken care of,
it's time for some new business.
The new business, fall bulbs, planting them, and then also mums that you're going to purchase at the store, what we can do to keep them going so you don't have to buy them again next year.
Yeah, so mums are typically seen as an annual. That's kind of how most people see them. You can make them a perennial in a way. So just to start, there are 13 classes of mums, and then this expands to a lot of variety of mums, basically. Subcategories, yes. So if you do want to save your mums, and you're like, I'm not going to be like a lot of people, and there's no harm in that, where you get your mums from, maybe the grocery store or wherever you find them, and then you leave them out, and then they don't make it through the winter, and that's okay. But maybe you want to have them come back next year. What you want to do is overwinter them. So you would just basically take them, if you have planted them into your garden, then you want to dig them up and put them in a container. Or if you have the container, you would take that inside. It can be in like a garage or a basement. It doesn't have to be, or shed. It doesn't have to be a heated area.
So you're basically taking them in, protecting them from the elements, putting them into a dormancy stage. You're not watering them regularly. Right. And if done correctly and everything works out right, they will come back in the spring. Yeah.
So in the spring, once you're past the frost, then you would plant them or just bring them out. And the soonest they could, depending on the variety, they could bloom as soon as July or as late as September. So that's something you would, if you could figure that out, that would be good.
If you are going to purchase your mums at the garden center, at the grocery store, and you're intending to do this, overwinter them, you're going to have to up pot them. You're going to have to put them in a larger container. Now, you could put them in the ground, but if you're going to do this overwinter thing, it's going to be a lot easier on you to have a large container that is manageable to bring in and do your overwintering and then bring back out in the spring. And if all goes well, it will come back to life. And you will save. I don't know what a mum even costs nowadays.
I don't know either. I haven't looked for a while. But a lot of information that I looked into said that this can go on for season after season. It's not like there's a stopping point. And also, they don't really like spread or anything, so that's nice to know too.
At a big box store, about $6 or so for one, and up to $20 for a multi-bush color deal. But still, if you're wanting to save money and you're wanting to, do the thing,
or just have something to do, maybe you really like how those mums look,
right?
Like this is unique or whatever. So let's talk about bulbs. Bulbs are beginning to be time to plant bulbs.
Real quick, to divide the mums, you want to wait until early spring, assuming that it comes back, and then carefully dig up the entire plant or in the container, remove the container and discard the woody center and separate it into portions, smaller clumps, to ensure each new section has a shoot and roots. So there's videos online in order to do that, but you can divide these and get more and more and more. So your $5, $8 now has doubled, tripled, quadrupled.
You could have just pots of mums all over your porch and stairs and driveway, and
that's a big thing for some people.
No, it is a big thing. It is, and that could save you money. So,
and it's fun to do. Now, planting fall bulbs. What do we need to know? What classifies as a fall bulb?
So fall bulb is just something that you plant in the fall, and it's going to be a perennial, so it's going to come back year after year. And this includes tulips, daffodils, crocus, hyacinths, I can never say that word, and alliums. Alliums are part of like the onion family, but they're a flower. Now
there are different things here. There, what we just discussed, and then there are bulbs that you plant in the spring. So we don't want to. We don't want to confuse it.
Yeah.
And there are some people who, if you forget to plant your fall bulb, you can plant it in the spring with somewhat success. Some people, because the reason why the bulb has to go in the ground and get what is called chill hours or cold hours. Same thing with garlic. You got to have so many cold hours, or apple trees, or peach trees, or pear trees, in order to get it to reset itself in a layman's terms. So if you don't have that chill hours or cold hours, it's not going to grow correctly. So what some people will do, and this is especially in the South, they will put it in the freezer for a couple of weeks in order to mimic that freeze period, that cold hour, chill hours, and that will help do that. Some people are very successful at doing that in the vegetable world in regards to garlic, which is considered a northern plant. But we've talked to people in Florida where they will put it in the freezer for multiple weeks, plant it, and still get a very good success rate in their harvest.
Yeah, so that's maybe hopefully maybe if you purchase bulbs in the spring, or like somebody sold them to like a fundraiser, maybe this will take something in your head to get them out wherever you put them. Otherwise, you can go to your local garden center to get bulbs. You want to make sure you are looking for bulbs that are firm, healthy, feel heavy, and show no signs of mold.
It's okay to dig through these things.
Yeah, for sure. So you could go, if you're at the garden center, look at the bags.
These are junk.
Yeah. Or, if you like kind of give them a gentle squeeze and they're like mushy, you don't want that. You
like a rotten onion.
Yeah, like a rotten onion. You
also,
make sure.
Smell.
Oh, goodness, I can't even imagine. So you want to make sure you are, especially if you're trying to plan something out, like a bulb garden or whatever, and trying to plot it out, you want to make sure that you're going to plant bulbs that are going to look nice.
And you also want to if you're going to do multiple varieties, you want to know the height.
Yeah.
And the bloom cycle on them, so that the front ones may get 24 inches tall and bloom late, and you've miscalculated and you put the short ones in the back and they've already bloomed, but you can't see them because the front ones. So you want to stagger these.
So, like, for example, crocus are usually the first ones up, and then it's usually followed by daffodils,
Daffodils,
tulips,
yeah.
And then I think hyacinths and alliums come later. So something to keep in mind. You can also, if you're at the garden center, maybe talk with the people there and figure out what you could do or some ideas. There's so much online. There's just like so many videos, people showing what to do with these bulbs and things like that.
Well, where I grew up in southern Illinois, what would that be? Growing zone at that point 6, so I think it's gone up one. It would be late February, and the daffodils would already be blooming. We always had a row behind the garden, and they were up late February, early March. Now, in most portions of the country that are hearing this program, there's usually a significant amount of either really cold or snow on the ground in late February, early March.
Yeah, that's very true. So you want to make sure that Joey talked about the cooling period, and where you want to get the firm bulbs. You want to plant them when the weather is consistently 40 to 50 degrees, which is typically about 6 to 8 weeks before the ground freeze. Does that seem right?
Well, our neighbor, he is a flower gardener, and he, in southeast Wisconsin, there has been years where it's the middle of December and the ground is still workable, and he is planting fall bulbs then. And there's been times where it's been the week before Thanksgiving and things have shut down because there's ice and snow on the ground.
Right.
So flip a coin and take a guess.
You kind of just have to be, like Joy said, have a best guess. So you can soak the bulbs and before planting them, but do your research because you don't need to necessarily soak all of them, but it can be helpful. And you do want to, if you can plant them in containers, it does work, but you want to make sure that you are, you would want to mulch them in. So if you are planting containers, mulching will help the process.
We are brought to you by WaltonsInc.com.
Listen, we know you care about where your food comes from, canning, preserving your fruits and vegetables, but what about the meat? At Walton's, you can get all the equipment, seasoning, and supplies to make sausage, jerky, and any other meat product your way to your high standards. Do you want to make meat sticks that people actually like? You can go to meatgistics.com, an informational site to help you make the best finished product. They have a full line of meat grinders, mixers, sausage stuffers, and more at WaltonsInc.com. You can use code GROW50, GROW50 to save 10% off your orders of $50 or more. WaltonsInc.com.
When we return, thoughts and ideals on how to pick the best. Pick your own and Pumpkin Farms. You're tuned in to the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
Got a question for Joey and Holly? Send it via email anytime to gardentalkradio@gmail.com.
4-Jar Canning Supply, your one-stop shop for all your canning needs, where old ways meet new in every jar. They are a family with decades of home canning experience, offering top-quality products and outstanding service. Never run out of canning lids again. Whether you're a seasoned canner or just starting out, their extensive range of canning products will elevate your canning game. 4jars.com. Inspired by the homemade preserves of our childhoods, they want to share that same joy with you. They deeply care about your family's health and understand the importance of homemade, nutritious meals. That's why they offer high-quality products to help you preserve your food. Quality canning lids, pressure canners, vacuum seal machines, and all the tools you need to get the job done. 4Jars has you covered. Our canning lids provide the perfect airtight seal for any regular, wide, or gym-sized jar. With the thickest lids on the market, they provide long-lasting freshness, up to 18 months, and are rust-resistant, ensuring your preserves stay secure. Use code 4jars25 to save 10% off your order at 4jars.com. That's FORJARS25 to save 10% off your order at 4jars, FORJARS.com. Check out ivorganics.com. It's America's leading garden product YouTube channel. IV Organic products are innovative, organic, effective, and proudly USA made to help you achieve your best growing season. Use coupon code RADIO10 at checkout and save 10% on your entire order at ivorganics.com. That coupon code again is RADIO10 to save 10% on your order at ivorganics.com. Vermont Bean Company is a family-owned and operated gardening company with the largest selection of seeds online. Use coupon code 15TG25 to receive 15% off your order at vermontbean.com. That coupon code is 15TG25 to receive 15% off your order at vermontbean.com. Welcome back to the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. Happy to have you along. Want more information about those coupon codes? Find them at our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, under the Money tab for coupon codes and all the companies that support this program to bring it to you each week under the Radio 9 tab at the top of the page. Pick out the best apple and pumpkin farms.
All right,
it's that time of season.
It is. And I feel like this can be very dependent on where you live. Mm-hmm. Our host studio... flagship studio is in the greater Milwaukee area, and I feel like in the fall you can drive less than like 20 minutes from the city
and see six or seven.
Yeah, you can find pumpkin farms, maybe not as many apple farms, but definitely like pumpkin situation farms, or the farm stand has them, whatever. But that's not the same as going to the pumpkin farm.
Because you're going to the pumpkin farm, they have activities in most cases for the kids, and then you get on a wagon and you can go. We're gonna.
So first of all, you might want to figure out your budget, and if there's an entry fee, it probably seems ridiculous. Like, why is there an entry fee to a pick your own farm? But some of these places, they have like, you pay this entry fee, and that means you can get a certain amount of tickets for games or whatever. Rides or, whatever it may be. Some of them are like have free hay rides, have free whatever, but also when you think about that, this particular farm might be free, but then it might be packed.
Right.
Yeah. And it might be small, or you might wait 6 hours for the hayride.
Well, one of the starting points is, one, know your budget, but two, do a Google search, favorite search engine, DuckDuckGo, whatever you want to do, and then look at reviews. Yeah. Because people will tell you how bad it is.
Right.
They won't tell you necessarily how wonderful it is. They'll make sure it's a terrible place to go. Don't go.
Right. And if
Uncle Roy was a terrible host.
And if it's something where you want to maybe spend half the day there, and you don't want to bring snacks, and they might have a little concession stand, whatever, that's good to know as well. And also the bathroom situation. I remember looking at my niece and nephew, especially when they were little, looking at some pumpkin farms, and it was like the bathrooms were terrible. They were just porta potties, and there wasn't enough, and there was, it can be bad. So keep that in mind as well. Yeah.
How big is the farm? There are ones that I've gone to where it is literally, you drive up, there is a barn that has been converted into a store. And then there's a couple of fields around. You go and walk and you pick your apples, or you go walk 150 yards and pick a pumpkin. And there's been other ones where it is an amusement park.
Basically, yeah, like a fall festival.
Right. There's concession stands. There's bouncy houses. There are hay rides. There are shoot apples from guns, cannons into straw bales. And it is... pick a thought, and that's what it is. There's tractor pull, where you actually pull a tractor petting zoos,
yeah, or feed the goats or whatever. Yeah,
it is an absolute insane amount of activities. However, the price there's an entry fee, and once you get through the gates, then it's whatever you want to do. You can do unlimited, but the food cost, and then there's an arcade that you can go to that cost. There's a haunted house that's free. But anyway, there's a whole gamut of things. So,
right.
What are you willing to spend, and what's the reviews say, and how much of a crowd? Obviously, if you go on the weekends, and the closer you get to the Halloween weekend is the most hectic. Do you want to go to a simplistic little place where you can get some family photographs? There's not that many people. You could actually go after work or take half a day and kind of go and do the thing where you don't have 400 people. Literally, there was like that one place was like 400 people. It was just fields and fields of cars. You thought there was a NASCAR race come into town. You know.
Another thing to keep in mind is sometimes if those larger places do put out deals on certain websites, like Runs with Coupon. And you can find those deals, and you can find like 2 for 1 or 50% off, or the third and fourth kid or whatever gets in free. So you want to look for those deals. If you are going to one of these bigger ones that are like the
amusement park,
the fall festival, fall in your face. And you know, if you want to go to a nice little one, that's fine too. It's just look around. And again, like I said, depending on where you live, you might not have a lot of options, but you might.
Well, whenever our niece was younger, you took her to one of these where you had to buy tickets. And whenever you got there, there was people leaving and that handed you a whole wad of tickets.
Right.
And you didn't have to pay for any tickets because everything that they had collected or bought, they didn't use, so they passed on. Did you pass on any to the next group whenever you were leaving, or did you use them all?
We used them all.
You used them all.
I don't think I did. It was actually, this place hosted like corporate parties, and they gave them so many tickets for the activities, and they just had a bunch left over.
But that's what, I forget what you call it. Pay it forward.
Yeah.
Pay it forward. Yeah.
If I had extra tickets, but my niece and nephew were very little at the time, and there was like bouncy houses, and
they took it full advantage of it.
Yeah, and they had this like mini tractor. They took barrels and made them into like a little wagon,
a little train that the lawnmower pulled in and would drive around. Yeah.
So like we definitely utilized all of our options, and
which makes perfect sense. If you're in that situation, you've bought more tickets than what you can use. You're not going to benefit by taking them home and throw them away.
I've paid forward state fair tickets.
Yeah.
So.
And just have a feel good moment. Give it to somebody because they're going to need pay it forward. Be that good person in society.
I will say that you want to go on the hayride if you can. If it's your jam. Hayrides I think are timeless and fun.
But some people have never been on a hayride. Mm-hmm. I've been on more hayrides, which was considered work.
That doesn't count.
No, it doesn't count because you went. It was 100 degrees. The wind was blowing in your face. You were sweaty, and you were bailing in the middle of July straw. And apparently, I've talked to other people where it has to be. And if you're a farmer, I would like to confirm this with you. GardenTalkRadio@gmail.com. Is it true in your world that you can't bale straw bales unless it's 100 degrees and the wind's blowing in your face? Now, Grandpa would be on the tractor, and then Dad and us would be on the wagon. We would stack these bales, 125 a wagon.
That's not a hayride.
I know it's not a hayride. It was a horrible hayride. I want them to run it back.
Hayride is when you're like, they take the hay tractor, hay trailer,
the hay wagon,
and
you sit on the bales.
You tell I'm the city person.
Yeah, you sit on
the bell. Yeah, you might have done this at the strawberry farm.
Yeah.
And and then there's always like some kid having a meltdown in the corner. Yeah, and then there's always somebody else sneezing because they're allergic to the hay.
Somebody's complaining.
This
is a rough wagon. Well, it's a wagon that has no shocks, and we're going through a rough field.
There's somebody holding on for dear life.
It's just terrified, like they're going to fall out of a plane. Yeah,
it's an experience, and that's why I said you have to go on the hayride. Now, I know that sometimes it's a little bit difficult to get on if you're not as mobile.
There are people that have some fears that are real, that are traumas.
But I'm saying, if you're able to do the hayride at least once in your life. And I just remember my nephew, when he was probably, 4 or 5, he wanted to climb everything like a lot of kids do, and we had to watch out for him. He was the one that might have jumped off.
Well, he was the one that when we were having a wiener roast at your mom's house and we were trying to get the fire going, he was like 3. He ran to the garage and grabbed the gas can and said, "I'll help start it." And a 3-year-old should not know that information.
Well, he's very observant. That's all I'm going to say. He's very observant.
But see, for me growing up on a farm, I had no interest whatsoever. It doesn't incite me at all to sit on a wagon and bounce through the field.
Right.
Not at all.
No, I understand that.
Sometimes it brings back bad memories. Yeah.
Are you okay over there?
Yeah, fine.
Do you need me to hold your hand?
No, we're good.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Also, accessibility.
Yes.
Is there certain? Do you have certain mobility restrictions, and do they accommodate for that? Now, going into the field, if you are handicapped in some some form or fashion, there might not be the ability for them to get you to the field in order for you to pick a pumpkin.
But they usually have pumpkins,
correct,
at the front.
At the front at the stand where they've already been picked, and you can kind of just look through the pile and figure out that one magical one you want.
Now let's talk about what else you can buy there. Okay. So they have the pumpkins, obviously, or the apples.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of times they'll have gourds, mini pumpkins,
baked goods,
overpriced
cookies.
The one we went to had like this little thrifty area.
Okay.
And I bought like a ghost or something. I don't know.
Like a crafty
okay. area. And then, a lot of times I'll have
apple
like hot
cider.
Chocolate. Yeah.
Apple cider, yeah.
Hot chocolate, to consume.
Honey is a big thing at some of these places,
so They have apple cider donuts.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes they have pies.
Now, you're going to pay a premium for these. This is not I
think the apple cider donuts are usually pretty fair in price.
True, but you're going to spend money. This is an outing that you're going to set aside. Okay, this is X amount of dollars. We know we're going to spend this. It's a once-a-year thing. We're just going to buy once, cry once, and be done with it and enjoy the experience.
And that's exactly it. It is the experience, and you, it's memories. You make some memories, and it's even better if it's maybe not the nicest weather, but you're still getting out there. I mean, obviously, if it's nice weather.
If it's drizzling, that's the best time to go because nobody else goes.
Right. I mean, if it's downpouring, they're probably not going to.
But if it's just misting.
If it's just misting, yeah.
People don't want to go in that, and you're like, got the whole place to ourselves.
It is nice. So just keep that in mind that sometimes you have to be weather tolerant or whatever, especially if you pick that day to go to this pumpkin farm. It could work in your advantage.
And based on where you're at in the country, it usually works where we're at in the Milwaukee area, southeast Wisconsin. It's beautiful, beautiful, and then all of a sudden it nosedives and it never gets back good until like April.
Yeah. But lately it seems like it's happening later and later. But
yeah, it's beautiful, and then the front comes through, and the normal days of 50 have now been the highs are 30, and that's the way it stays, and it just keeps dropping.
I would also, if you have coworkers who are in the area, now a lot of people have coworkers all over the country because of remote work. But if you have coworkers in the area, definitely ask them. Say, do you have a?
We know you have. We know. I know you have a couple of kids. Have you ever gone to one of these? And which one? And what was your experience?
Especially if they live within the same area.
Oh, church people will tell you too.
Church people, yeah.
They'll let you know.
Yeah.
Don't go over there. Oh.
And again, Joe had mentioned reading the reviews. That's important too.
And one of these it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be tied to spooky Halloween stuff.
No.
If you are
fall harvesty,
right? If you're concerned about that on a spiritual level, you don't. There's places where they don't. You wouldn't even know. It was, it's about pumpkins and the fall harvest and all of that.
Most of them are like that, unless it does have like
specifically identified.
You know what? They also a lot of times have corn mazes. So that's I've never.
Some people are terrified of mazes.
I'm terrified of mazes.
No, like they are horrified. Like if they go in, they'll never come out.
Oh, I just feel like it would be claustrophobic for me, especially because I'm short.
Okay, well. That's some of the things you need to know when it's time to figure out what farm you want to go to.
Joey, summer's winding down, but just because it's fall, we don't want to forget about our yards and those Japanese beetles and other grubs. They may now be hidden, but they're not far. Not only did the beetles feast on your roses and berries this summer, they laid eggs in your turf so that they can invade your yard again next year. Fight back with Phylum's Grub Gone. Grub Gone is a non-chemical BT granule that applied to lawns and specifically targets scarab pests and their larvae with an 80% plus control even in the fall.
Holly, did you know that Grub Gone is the only non-chemical choice that effectively controls grubs, and when you combine it with the best chemical grub control at very low amounts, BioAdvanced grub control products, the tough-to-kill fall season grubs, are hit with a 1-2 punch that kills them at the best rate tested, nearly 100%. This combo of the best of biology and chemistry is called IPM, Integrated Pest Management, which is the best industry practice. Mix 1 0.25 pounds of each per 1,000 square feet equals 100% control. Grub Gone from Phylum Bioproducts, the best combination of safety and performance. Hang out with us when we return Chatter Spot, whenever Holly and I will talk about some topics and have a good conversation. You're tuned in to the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show.
Have a garden question? Give Joey and Holly a call now or anytime 24/7. Just dial 1-800-927-SHOW. If you can't get through, leave a message and they will call you back. Call now 1-800-927-SHOW.
Azure Standard is America's premier family-owned online store for organic foods and healthy products for your home and garden. They deliver directly to families and commercial customers through over 3,500 drop points across all 50 states. Azure Standard strives to make grocery shopping easy, bringing all your needs to one convenient pickup location. As a trusted national health food distributor, Azure Standard offers bulk and specialty health foods to communities nationwide. With over 12,000 products, each one is approved and carefully sampled to ensure the highest quality. Azure Standard holds firm to non-GMO, organic, and natural standards. From food and beauty products to household items, nutritional supplements, animal care, hobby supplies, and even garden essentials, Azure Standard truly has everything for your daily living. Visit AzureStandard.com, that's A-Z-U-R-E Standard.com. Use promo code Joey and Holly 15 at checkout to get 15% off for new customers who open an account for the first time and place a minimum order of $100 or more, shipped to a drop location of your choice. That's code Joey and Holly 15 at AzureStandard.com. Azure Standard is A-Z-U-R-E Standard.com.
Jung Seed Company is a family-owned and operated gardening company since 1907 with the largest selection of seeds and plants online. Use coupon code 15TG25 to receive 15% off your order at jungseed.com. That coupon code is 15TG25 to save 15% off your order at jungseed.com.
R.H. Shumway is a family-owned and operated gardening company with a large selection of seeds and plants online. You can use code 15TG25 to receive 15% off your order at rhshumway.com. That's code 15TG25. Garden like a pro in 3 easy steps and receive customized fertilizer recommendations for your garden or lawn. Soil Savvy helps you determine what nutrients your plants need to thrive. Never again over-apply nutrients they don't need. A patented process that makes you a smart gardener. To get your soil test kit,
do you have nuts or fruit in your yard? A Nut Wizard is a handy, effective tool that will pick up round or oval tree produce quickly and easily, leaving debris behind for a clean harvest. A Nut Wizard tool saves your back and your time. Visit nutwizard.com for more information. Wisconsin Greenhouse Company has custom-made greenhouses to suit your needs. Grow year-round. Strongest greenhouses that will last a lifetime. From agricultural to lounging to entertaining. For more information, go to wisconsingreenhousecompany.com. Welcome back to the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show. Happy you've joined us and allow us to be part of your day just for a little bit. Find out more information about those coupon codes and all the sponsors you find and hear on the program at our parent website, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com, underneath the Radio 9 tab at the top of the page and the Money tab for coupon codes. Well, we've come to the portion where normally we have a guest. We did not have a guest this week. We don't have scheduled guests for a couple of the final shows this year, so we thought this would be a good opportunity to do a little different of a segment. We call it Chatter Spot. So basically just really interesting, in-depth, cool questions that we're going to ask each other. Again, not religious or political, because everybody gets in a fist fight if we start talking that way. So I will go first, and then I will kind of show you how this works. And then if you've got questions in kind of this genre of categories, gardentalkradio@gmail.com, and we will answer them for you. All right, first question here. Things you want to do that you know that you will not or can't do. You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, I got like 4 or 5 here.
Okay.
Number 1, wave the green flag at the Indy 500. No, I can't do that, but that would be really cool.
How do you know you can't do that?
Because there's no way. It's the flag guy, the main flag person.
Okay.
And then number 2, not because I watch or I don't watch, but on SNL, You know what a cold open is?
Yeah.
It's whenever they first come off the news. I'm explaining for people who may not. They first come off the news and it goes from black screen and they open up the show and it's a skit and then the show kicks off. I always think it would be cool on that cold open to be the person that says, live from New York, it's Saturday night. And then the intro rolls. I think that would be fun. Another one would be walk on the moon for 10 minutes. We've been there. Other countries have confirmed that we've been there. Independent organizations have confirmed we've been there. Walk on the moon for 10 minutes. Another one, the final one here is this is possible, but not really possible. Own an archery shop next to a steakhouse.
Okay. That's why?
Why not?
Right.
I always thought it'd be neat to own a steakhouse, but then why not have an archery shop too?
All right. So I think it would be cool to skydive, and I know I could, quote unquote, skydive, but I don't want to.
Because you'd be like one of them people that's holding on to the hay wagon, scared they're going to fall off.
I mean, I don't hold onto the hay wagon, but I don't think I would. I think it's like I like the idea of it, but I don't think I would love it, if that makes sense, and it wouldn't be worth the time or the money. I think I would. I don't know. I probably would chicken out. So, to be honest, own a bookstore. I know I could possibly own a bookstore, like a bookstore coffee shop, but it's just not something that I feel like it's in my wheelhouse to do. So, maybe one day, maybe I could inherit a bookstore and a coffee house. I just think that would be so cool, especially
next to my archery shop and steakhouse.
Yes, especially how reading. It just seems like reading's really making a comeback. I mean, not that people haven't always read, but it's becoming, I don't know, a pastime again.
Is there a reason why that is?
I think it's just the younger generation.
Do you think it has anything to do with the intensity of social media and unplugging?
Yes, that's a lot to do with it. A lot of these younger kids they're calling them like analog hobbies, and they spend less time on social media. And some of these kids are getting like flip phones, so. Yeah.
Didn't know they make it's still.
Yeah, they make flip phones.
I thought they were getting rid of that because of the 3G going away thing.
No, these are
fancy flip phones.
They're fancy flip phones, but they don't have the social media, but you can still like download music and stuff on them. So I don't know. I've thought about it, but I'm not there yet. And so yeah, just owning a bookstore, coffee shop, even like a craft store, something that would be like
I have a whole little mini mall
in line with my hobbies. But then at the same time, I feel like something like a craft store might annoy me because
your hobby becomes a business.
Yeah, that's like too much.
Well, it's kind of like the gardening stuff. It was a hobby, and now it's become a business.
Right. So yeah, that's kind of some things. I'm doing these on the fly. Joey came up with these questions.
Well, you saw the questions. It's not like I just threw them at them.
Yeah, but I didn't.
You didn't study
them after work.
Oh, okay. All right. Next thing, sounds that you find very pleasant. You want me to go first, or you want to go first?
You can go first.
A lake. What is it? The bird that we hear when we're at the land. The lake loon. That's a pleasant one.
Yeah, the loon.
Crane is a pleasant sound. Yeah. Children playing at a playground, laughing, carrying on.
That can be nice.
Enjoy. Yeah. Wind on a fall afternoon in the woods, and then wind on a nice warm spring morning. Waking up to the sound of birds and owls.
Okay, so I got rain in our tent. As long as it doesn't rain.
For people who may not be familiar,
we have a tent.
We have property in the Northwoods of Wisconsin. We have a giant wall tent, and it's like a little cabin. It's a tent, but anyway. So
especially like late at night or early in the morning, where it's just like.
And when it's dark, it is dark up there. There is no light. You cannot see your hand in front of your face, literally.
Unless the moon is full.
True. And then it's like a beacon. But I mean, whenever there's no moon, it is like you can't see anything without assistance.
Cat's purring, that just like that nice sound. My cat specifically, when he does his little stretch and then he scratches his nails on the carpet. I think it's so. Yeah, I think it's so. He's got very thick claws.
Yeah, you don't decaw him.
Yeah. What else? Just like Joey had mentioned, the wind in the woods. I experienced that for the first time. I mean, not that I never experienced the wind in the woods, but when I was deep in the woods away from our campsite, and just so we have more of an open area at our campsite. When I was deep in the woods, it was less open. It was nice. Yeah.
Sounds that humans were never meant to hear.
I don't know.
Sounds of on other planets. Now, the Russians sent many spaceships or space probes to Venus, and we have audio, like 41 seconds of audio of what Venus sounds like. We've also have audio of what Mars sounds like. We've sent rovers up there, and that is just a fascinating thing to be like. No one's ever heard that noise before until that recording. The one on Venus, when the Russians sent like six or seven or something like that probes over there. This was back in the early 70s, and because of the intensity of the atmosphere, it basically melted or burnt up the equipment, and we got 41 seconds of sound and imagery on that particular mission. But that was fascinating to hear that. David Letterman, I admire him as a comedian, don't care much for him as a person. He said the sounds of an Indy car humans were never intended to hear. Now, if you've ever been to an Indy car race or you've seen it on TV, that high pitch wow noise, he said that we were never intended to hear, but it's a very unique sound to experience.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go to the next question.
You don't have any?
I don't have anything.
Okay.
Things I do not understand.
Okay.
As somebody with a very scientific background, I understand a lot. So,
okay.
And I would just look into what I don't understand. What's something you don't understand?
How Wi-Fi works. I know there's science behind it, but just I can sit here and the modem is...
It's called magic.
It's magic. It floats through the air. How Bluetooth works. Don't get that either. The TV's in one room and the modem's in the other, and somehow magically they connect, and I can connect to anybody in the world.
Or like when you are, when you go to my car and you turn it on, and I'm up here and my Bluetooth connects. It's like, how does it connect that close or that far? It's not super far, but it's far enough. Yeah.
Another one is solar power. How does the sun hitting these little brown, black tiles hit energy into a wire and fill into a battery in which I can plug a blender in and then make a milkshake?
Because the sun provides the energy.
But
it's just like photosynthesis of plants.
I understand that, but somebody way smarter than me said, okay, we can put all these things together, hook some wires up to it, run it into another battery and take charge, and it'll build energy that you don't have to have, coal and turbines and all this other stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Another one is, that's Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and all that other. Yeah, I know there's scientific, explanations, but for me, don't get it. Don't understand.
Okay.
And the other thing, like monarch butterflies, they fly all the way to Mexico and beyond, and then they fly all the way up to like northern.
It's called migrating.
I understand that. And these birds, it's just fascinating that they have nature has instilled in them the capabilities smarter than anything that man could create to navigate
like
throughout
the
cranes. Yeah.
Yeah. And just the geese. Yeah. That makes sense.
And then if you ever go to an airport and you see these massive jumbo jets, you're like, how in the world does that thing stay in the air?
You gotta ask the Wright brothers that.
Yeah. It's just amazing that, with the technology that a lot of things in which we have today, there was people that lost their lives in order for us to have the ability to do things and take for granted on a daily basis. I
get this. I don't know if this is borderline political, but I don't understand why we're not better to our veterans. I think that we could do a lot better job of taking care of them. And I know a lot of them do get a lot of benefits and things like that and get good jobs, but there's a lot of them who get left behind. And I think we could definitely take better care of them.
We can do one more here. What smells would you make into a candle?
Now, this is the thing, is that I spend a lot of time but looking around at stuff. I don't spend a lot of time buying necessarily, but I do shop.
Gathering information.
So I feel like this is something you could make happen if you wanted to. But
Now, I don't know if some of these things exist or not. I'm just
okay.
So
I'm kind of a simple candle person, so I like I just bought an apple cider spice candle, and that's good for me. I bought like a peach one recently, or no, I think my sister gave me the peach one, and then I have like this tropical smell one. So like I'm not really like hard up to get a smell on a candle, or if I wanted like fresh cut grass, I think they have that. So what about you?
Fall in the woods. Like 35 degrees and light wind, that type of smell.
Yeah. They probably have something similar.
I don't know.
I don't know. We could find it.
I'm sure we could find something like that.
I jokingly said farts.
I think if I'm asking, if that question goes to all of you listeners, I think some of the answers would be my grandmother's kitchen.
Oh yeah, stuff like that, like nostalgic.
My parents' basement, that type of thing, that nostalgic. I can't have them back, but I want that smell because that brings back thousands of memories and so much wonderful time.
And like yeah, for sure. And I know like a lot of people like food candles, like food smell candles. Sometimes those just make me hungry. Like I had this pecan waffle maple one, and it just made me crave pancakes. Yeah, and I was glad when it burnt out. But
yeah, I think we could get the capture of some of those. But Grandma's kitchen, Grandma's homemade cookies, I don't think those. That's just a wishful want that, but never going to exist. Fragrance.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
So, well, with that, if you've got any questions in that kind of capacity, we'd like to hear you. GardenTalkRadio@gmail.com or 1-800-927-SHOW. Leave a message if we can't get to you, and we will include them in one of our next shows. When we return, it's going to be time for your garden questions and our garden answers. You're tuned in to the Garden with Joey and Holly radio show.
Got a question for Joey and Holly? Send it via email anytime to gardentalkradio@gmail.com.
Good garden tools make gardening easier. Wisconsin-made Cobra Head tools simplify weeding, cultivating, digging, and planting. Favorites of professional gardeners, Cobra Head tools are durable, ergonomic, and easy to work with. Visit CobraHead.com and use coupon code SOIL for 10% off your order. David J. Frank, Southeastern Wisconsin's leading landscape company, is a landscaper you need. Their award-winning services include everything from lawn care, landscape maintenance, design, construction, renovation, irrigation, sustainability, and more. Big or small, let the experts at David J. Frank handle the hard work for you. Find out more at davidjfrank.com.
Mantis garden tiller cultivators are the perfect solution for any garden. With their gas-powered 2-cycle or 4-cycle engine, these powerful machines can till 9 or 16 inches of land without you breaking a sweat. And it doesn't stop there. Mantis's optional attachments allow you to aerate, plow, and more with the snap of a finger. Engineered with durability in mind, Mantis tiller cultivators will be your guaranteed garden companion for a long time. You can find more out and details at mantis.com.
A non-selective herbicide that is also USDA BioPreferred certified? You bet. Say goodbye to Roundup and hello to No More Weeds by Naturally Green Products. No More Weeds kills weeds with no harsh chemicals and no glyphosate. Safe around pets, No More Weeds has a proprietary sticking agent to use around gardens, pools, decks, patios, anywhere there are weeds. Available online at natgreenproducts.com, Amazon, and Walmart.com. Order yours today. The same great company that brings you no more bugs. Pomona's Universal Pectin is a high-quality pectin that gels reliably with low amounts of any sweetener. If you're trying to reduce the amount of sugar in your diet, you'll love Pomona's Universal Pectin. Now you can make healthy homemade jams and jellies sweetened to your taste. You can use sugar or honey to sweeten. Pomona's Universal Pectin keeps indefinitely when stored in an airtight container. Easy to use, versatile, and comes with directions and recipes in every box. Find out more and where to buy at PomonaPectin.com. Also available at natural food stores and online.
Welcome back to the Garden with Joey and Holly radio show. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your day. Time for garden questions and garden answers. Send them on over to GardenTalkRadio@gmail.com. That's GardenTalkRadio@gmail.com. And toll free, coast to coast at 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469. Let's see what we can get through the top of the hour.
All right. So here's our question. Hi, Joey and Holly. I have attached some pictures of aroma tomatoes This happens every year to any paste type tomato we grow. We got some of the slicers too, but mostly just the paste. We are not getting blossom end rot. It seems that related to water, as we've had this problem for 5+ years. We have tried Roma Amish paste and a hybrid called the Gladiator. All of them make it, especially the bigger the tomatoes are, the small ones don't seem to get this. Some years we have dry, hot weather, or some years we have warmer weather with more rain. So they're in southern Iowa. This tomato had basically cracks on the top.
Right. It looks like somebody took and cut 4 slices, and it opened up and then it healed itself on the top of the tomatoes. So
this is called tomato cracking, and it's from inconsistent watering. Not necessarily inconsistent watering on your behalf. It's because of things like rushes of rain and then dry periods, and that's what happens.
So it's basically it rains, it sucks up too much moisture, cracks because the skin can't grow quicker and it just sucks it up like a sponge, and then it has to expand and it cracks, and then it reseals it or heals itself. So
and we've seen this where they've blown out.
Right. The bottom has blown out after a rainstorm because we wasn't watering consistently, and the bottom would just blow out because it sucked all the moisture up it can. So I guess the simplest answer to why this is to solve this is, one, you may not be able to solve this entirely, but having consistent amount of moisture in the soil so that whenever the plants do get that rain, it doesn't feel like it has to suck up everything it can.
She does state that she has soaker hoses for the years it has been dry. So I'm wondering is if the watering isn't consistent enough. Yeah, like you have to stay consistent.
Really damp.
Really, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be part of the problem. So you can still eat the tomato.
Right.
It's not a problem.
And it's on what you call the shoulders of the tomato, from the connection to the plant, and that upper portion that's called the shoulders. And in some varieties of tomatoes, that doesn't fully ripen anyway, so you're discarding kind of that first cut of tomato that's near the top where the stem would connect to the fruit. So now you know. All right, next question here is, cleaning up the garden ready for fall, winter. When can I plant the garlic? I'm in zone 4B.
So you're going to, is that north of us?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So we plant ours like October 1st.
Right, which we probably will push back a little bit now.
Typically about like 6 weeks before.
60 days before the first hard freeze.
Freeze. So that would be your estimation. So 60 days before the first hard freeze. So you would want to go put in your zip code first hard freeze. Or would that be first hard freeze. And then it should, any search engine should give you an idea, and then you can back it off 60 days. Now,
that's no guarantee that you're going to have that freeze on November 14th. That is an average. Now, you can plant your garlic in that October, early November, even mid-December, or mid-November, early December timeframe, as long as you can get the ground to work. And you can get the garlic in a raised bed 4 inches down, in traditional ground about 3 inches down, you're going to be fine. If you do plant it in the early portions of October, you can pre-soak your garlic, and I would encourage that no matter when you plant it in order to get it to establish roots. And that's the key, to get it rooted in, and then it's going to dormancy. Early garlic that we have planted in the first week in October, it has begun to germinate above ground about 2 inches. That's nothing that's going to be detrimental to the plant. It will go into dormancy, perfectly fine, and then reestablish in the spring. We do not mulch. We don't find that it's necessary, and we've had some of the harshest winters on record without mulching our garlic, and it has done just fine. So that is how we would recommend going about planting your garlic and when to plant it. All right, question here. What do I do with my sedum?
Yeah, so sedum is a perennial plant. It's kind of flowery, but kind of plant looking. It's hard to explain unless you've seen what they look like. And a lot of people have these in their garden. A lot of times
it is a shorter, stockier plant with a kind of a waxy film on the leaves, and the stem can come in several different colors from purple to pinkish hue to whitish pink, and can grow, I would say it's about 16, 20 inches tall at best, and grows in clumps.
Yes. So these are perennials, and a lot of times you kind of inherit them. I don't think people do plant them, but sometimes they just end up, they're just there in your garden. But you can get them from other people. Some people will divide them, whatever. So you can prune them by cutting them back to the ground or just above the new growth. But a lot of times people recommend leaving them dried, the flower heads, because they can provide visual interest over the winter. They can also be a good food source for birds. So, you can watch the snow on the sedum, see if the birds come and get the dried flower heads, whatever. So I would just leave them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Can you explain the growing zone thing, please? Okay. Growing zones are a division of temperature ranges. In North America, it goes from 1 to, I believe it's 12 or 13 when you get down into the southern tip of Texas and into Mexico. The higher the number, the warmer the winters are. You can go and find it on your favorite search engine. You can call your local extension office, Extension University. Every 20 years they reestablish and rechange.
I think it's every 20 years.
Because I think it was early in 2024 that they readjusted a lot of the growing zones. We went from 5A to 6A because they said that we were getting warmer in the winter. This is a guide in which for your perennial plants, you may see a perennial plant that has a label that's rated for zones 4 to 6. And you are in zone 5, so it would be appropriate for you. And most independent garden centers have plants that are only good for your particular area. Now, they will have tropical plants, but that is well known in advance. So you can find this out, and it's a guide that will help you. Is it guaranteed that it will be that temperature as the coldest? No. That's why we recommend, if you're going to buy perennial plants, and for example, you're in zone 5, I would recommend looking for plants that are suitable for at least one growing zone colder than what you currently live in and it would be planted in, because we have those off winters where it is extremely cold, much lower than what the average is. And if you had that plant that's a little more hardy, it's going to likely survive rather than having to replant it every 4 to 6 years when these anomalies come through and things get really, really cold. All right, one more question here. I am seeking guidance on canning pickles using my grandmother's recipe, which I have been unable to perfect. Although I have identified one of two errors, I was making my homemade pickles having consistently been salty, with some jars being saltier than others. Despite this, they closely resemble my grandmother's pickles in taste, which is comforting. Can you offer suggestions on how to remedy this saltiness taste? Well, first of all, your grandmother's recipes may probably be out of date and not safe, even though it's a pickle recipe. That's
something to keep in mind, is that you might want to find something similar through a safe resource like the National Center for Home Food Preservation or bulk canning.
We understand why you want to carry on and utilize that recipe. We get that. It's your grandmother's recipe. It's nostalgia. It brings back the memories. However, it may not be certified safe.
Right.
And we have found, if you've got grandparents that ever cooked for you, you understand that they measure ingredients in love that we don't know what that measurement is.
Right. A lot of people talk about this, about how they've watched their grandparents cook or bake or whatever.
And can't duplicate it.
Because it was like, or the grandparent wrote down the recipe.
And left out that one thing.
Because, or they didn't have, like, they thought they're adding half a cup of tomato paste. That's a lot of tomato paste. Like a couple tablespoons of tomato paste, but they were actually adding something else. just whatever it may be. So
some of them grandparents are sneaky. Hey, here's the recipe. I didn't add this. I didn't write this part down because I don't want you to know it.
Right. So, one thing is,
could water be the
I don't
city water with the chemicals versus well water that has the minerals?
That could be.
Okay.
It could be a water, especially if it's been a few years since the grandparents passed. Water does change, or maybe you're using a purified water versus a city water, what have you. I would just reduce the salt in the recipe if that's is something where you can find a comparable recipe. Might have less salt.
But you need salt.
You need salt. Oh. A lot of these recipes have changed over the years, so has food quality and food science. So maybe I don't know why you think you need more salt now because food quality has changed, but I don't know. So you might want to find a similar recipe, look up some recipes or go to a library, look in some canning books, and find something that has like similar ingredients and give that a try.
Well, we were out of time, and we thank you for yours. Miss any portion of the program, you can find it at our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, under the Radio 9 tab at the top of the page. Join us next week on the program where we will discuss benefits of cast iron cooking, as well as understanding the teas in this world, not the letter T or road teas, but the TEA drink. And we're going to have another session of Chatter Spot. So until next week, for
Holly Baird,
I'm Joy Baird, and we will see you in the garden.